Hi guys, and welcome to Student Data Management System developed in Excel using VBA. Let me show you guys how this beautiful tutorial works. Now, right here we have the student's subject and we have the grades for each subject, and we also have a calendar. If you want to change the date of the result, you can just double click on it. Like we have 24 now, and today's date is 29 there. And right here we have the course, depend on the course selected by the student or by the course tutor. And here we have the student details and the guidance details, and over here we have either the student is an home student, overseas student, in one of the universities accommodation, if the student is on exchange program or on scholarship there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these details straight into the sheet that we have in here, and we also expect these very student details to appear right here. So let's do that. So I'm going to go back in here and let's click on add there. Once you click on add, Lola Kingsley details should appear right here. There we go, that's Lola Kingsley details. And the list box here also displays the details of the student Lola Kingsley. Now let's go back in here. We can always reset, or supposing we want to change the grades around, all you just need to do is maybe increase the grades or whatever you want to change it to, or reduce it. The choice is yours, and just click on result. There we go. You can see the total sum up, the ranking of the student. Supposing the student is an average student, let's see what's going to happen to the ranking. There we go. So check out the result now. The student is a second class upper student. Okay, so let's reset and see what's going to happen with the reset. Reset it all. So we can then enter another student details, and the student name, let's assume the student name is James. Email there. What about the parents details? Let's say the brother, and brother's name is John, and confirm the email again. There we go, come right in here. And there, the course that James is on, let's assume is into computer science. There we go. These are the details of the course. And right here, he happens to be home student. He's not on any of these. He's not an overseas student. He stays at home. He's not an exchange student, and he's not on scholarship. Right, let's see, that is BSc and is, let's say, final year. Let's click on the subject, select the subject, event driven, object oriented programming, system analysis. Let's go for data graphics, computer games, animation, math, and digital graphic. And the score here, those are his score. Let's see what he will wind up with. So all we just need to do now is to click on result. There we go, second class lower. Okay, James happens to be an average student. So let's come in here now. Details of James is now right here yet. So let's go back in here and click on add. But just before that, it's not also on the spreadsheet itself. So now click on add. There, go straight into the list box. James details is now here, and if we go to the spreadsheet, that's James details there. So guys, and I'll see you guys shortly with a full tutorial. Okay guys, let's exit out and start a new project entirely. So I'm going to just minimize that. Now this is my workbook for a new project. So first of all, I'm going to enter as follows. Let's select from A, rule A. Let's just select it up to AN. There we go. So those are the rows that the columns that I intend to use for my project. So I'm starting with student ID, first name, surname, address, and so on. So I guess you guys can see that there. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this project as a macro enable. So let's go to file, save as, and I'm going to save it right. Okay, let's save it right inside the student database folder that I have in here. I'm going to call it it's going to be, the file type will be macro enable, and that is what I'm going to be calling it, student database management system. Okay, so I'm just going to enter 1 in there. Oh, let's make that 2. I already have one, and that is it. Click on save. There. Now the next thing is I'm going to go straight to my developer. If you don't have a developer on board, all you need to do is to go to file, click on file, select options, and right here select the customize ribbon. And you also need to make sure you have this option selected, all commands. Then you can look for the developer tool. The developer tool, once it's found, will be something like this. All you then need to do is to make sure it's checked, and you then click on OK right here. Just click on OK, and that will present you with a menu called developer. When you click on the developer, this is what you get: development environment, and to your left is a Visual Basic, and you can always select Alt F11. Okay, so click on that, and that will bring you straight into this environment. If you then click on, or you select insert, and you then need to select user form right there. That's your user form. Okay, so let's define the size of this form. I'm going to make the height about 800, and I'll make the width 1004. Okay, 1040. There, and that is it. The next thing is select the toolbox, and we then need the multi-page. I think this is it. That is it right there, multi-page. Click on that and just drag it that much all the way. Okay, let's select the very first page of the multi-page. You can always right click on it and select rename. There we go, and that is the name of this. Is going to be student details. Click on OK. And the second one, right click and select rename. That is going to be, let's say, university database. There we go. Now back to my toolbox here. I need a frame. Just draw one frame here, and I'm going to get rid of the text content in that frame. Delete that, bring it down a little bit. Right, I need another frame on this side. Let's select both frames and just bring it down again. There. And to my right here, I'm going to need a couple of frames in there as well. Alright, so my frames are in place now. so I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit. Right, okay, this is how my frame is looking right now. Okay, and I've added 2 in here, so that is fine. So let's run it and you just see how it looks. That is how it's looking. I guess you guys can see that. So I'm going to exit out. Now let's come back in here. Now here I'm going to add label. Let's come in here, add a label here, and text box right there. So I need a couple of those in here. So hold on to the control, click and drag. Okay, I will need 3 more here. There. And this very one, I'm going to change that to a combo box. So undo that. I think I'll make that the 5th one. That's students first name. Okay, this very one, delete that, and grab a combo box and just add it right here. There we go. There. And let's change these details around. That's going to be student ID. This is going to be first name. Oh, let's change this one to student txt student ID. Txt student ID. The next one here is going to be first name, and the text box right in front of it will be first name. Txt first name. We have surname here. So I guess you guys get the whole idea of that, so that shouldn't be a big deal. Right. And the text box right in front of it, that's going to be txt surname. Now this is going to be address. Text box txt address. This is gender. And we have CBO gender. There we go. Then let's say we have mobile here. Learners mobile. And this is going to be txt mobile. Here, let's change this to email. Right here first. Email. And this is going to be txt email. There we go. There. All done. Now I'm just going to copy this, copy everything there, and drag it over here. This is going to be for the university details, and I'm going to move this up here because that would be for the course. Why here underneath here, that's going to be the guidance details. Grab all of this and just drag it down as well. There. Now I also need 2 more here, 1 up here and 1 down here. Okay, and here I will need 1 more here, and here that will be buttons. 1, 2, I think we're going to go for about 4 there, or maybe 5 even. Yeah, I might have to make that 5 later on. Alright, there. I also need a combo, no, not a combo. Yeah, a combo box here. So we need 5 of those. and we need 5 there. Okay, we need the same thing here, right there. Looking good so far. Delete this, get rid of that. I need a combo there. Okay, let's drag it that much. Okay, looking good, guys. Now the next thing we want to do is I'm going to need label here. Let's come in here. We need a label, and that label, I want, let's change the border so that we can see the lines on it, and that is just going to be number. I'm going to have to increase the size of that font to something a little bit readable. I think that might be too much. 12. Okay, I also need to get it centered though. Get it centered. Right. So I need another one here. Okay, looking good. And just one more there. Alright, we then need text box. I might as well just grab one here. No, we need text box here, one here, and we also need combo box here. Right, drag. I need a label here. That's going to be for the subject, and this is going to be for the score. Right, so let's just increase the size of this a little bit, copy and paste. Alright, it's looking good, guys. Almost there. There we go. Right here, that is just going to be the subject anyway, so put in subject here, change this one to score. There. Okay, I'm going to now design my calendar there, so let's come back in here and just grab the button. You need a couple of those. Yeah, I'm going to have to tidy it up. Right. Yeah. So I may have to just speed up the whole design of the interface. If you guys want to know how to create a calendar, I already have a tutorial on YouTube. I will try, and I will actually include the link of that particular tutorial for you guys to have a look at. There. So if I run it now, this is how it's looking. It's a little bit rough, and it's going to take me some time to kind of like put it all looking good. So I'm just going to speed that up and get back to you guys. So exit out. Let's speed that up. Okay, all done, guys. So let me run it and you guys see how the whole interface looks like for now. So let's run it there. This is how it's looking, and nothing is happening. I've added another button here. Nothing is happening so far, as you can see. Okay, with this very calendar, you guys will see there's a tutorial on board of how to create this very calendar. So I'm going to include a link of this very calendar for you guys to have a look at. Now this is how it's all looking now for now. Okay, and nothing is happening. Alright, so let's start work with decoding. So let's take care of the exit first. That's the easy one. Okay, I'm going to exit out and let's come back in here. So let's double click on the exit button. And right here, let's start by declaring as follows. I'm going to say dim I exit as, let's say, VB message box result, MSG box result there. And I'm going to initialize this variable with the following message. So let's say message box is going to be confirmed if you want to exit. There, that would be my very first argument. The second argument is going to be question icon, there we go, plus the third argument that is going to be for VB yes or no, and my fourth argument, I'm going to make that my own titles. Let's just say student management system. There, that's my fourth argument. Press enter. Now let's use an if statement to validate the selection made. If I exit equals VB yes, then we want the system to unload me, and just end the whole lot. There we go, that is it, done. So that is our exit. I know some people just prefer to write to enter unload me, but I think this is the right way of doing it. Your end user might just end up making a mistake clicking on exit, but this will give them the option to consider if they want to exit or not. No, I don't want to exit. Yes, I do want to exit. Okay, that's why I prefer it that very way. So let's double click on, let's take care of this one, this easy one as well. Print. For the print, I'm just going to enter application dot dialog, and that is going to be X dialog. Let's look for X dialog printer setup. There is one of them here somewhere. Printer setup, that's it. There we go. Dot show, there we go. And I'm going to say this workbook, so the printing is going to be directly from my worksheet anyways. Workbook dot sheet, and the sheet that I'm going to specify is going to be my sheet number 1. Close that. Dot print out, let's say print out dot, not a dot, print out copies, and that is going to be equals, let's say, just 1 copy. There, that is it. And this is my workbook that I'm talking about, this very one. As you can see, sheet number 1. Okay, so print is taken care of as well. Now let's take care of the reset. Double click on reset. With the reset, guys, I'm going to declare 2 variables. Let's say dim txt, comma, and the next one is going to be cbo. Okay, and I'm now going to say for, using a for loop, for each txt in let's say multi-page 1 dot page 1 dot control. That'll be controls with an S there. So you see the multi-page one, the page one, that is the multi-page that I added. More or less, you can always call it tab control anyway. Let's get this nested, then I will show you what I'm talking about. If we come in here now, this is the multi-page. That is it right there. Okay, so that is the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to double click on here. Okay, it is called multi-page, so double click on my reset and continue. So for each txt, the variable that I declared in multipage.page1, so making reference to the text box in there. So I'm now going to say if the type, let's say type of txt is forms dot text box, so that is me now referring to the object, then and I want the txt dot text, I want it to clear whatever content I have in there. There we go, that is it. And if there, so my very first statement to clear whatever content I have in there is taken care of. Just take a look at these 4 lines of codes, or 5 lines of codes. 1 2 3 4 5. Look at that. These will actually clear whatever I have inside or on any of the text box. Let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. So let's enter some stuff in here. Let's keep going, enter whatever in there, and here as well. Every single text box will be taken care of using those simple lines of codes that you guys saw earlier. So we need to do the same thing for the combo box. So if I click on reset, there we go, look at that. Apart from this is a combo box. So I'm going to exit out. Now let's go back in here, double click on my reset. Now, and I want to take care of the combo box. Okay, to take care of the combo box, I'm just going to copy this and paste that in there. That is going to be for the combo box. All I then need to change is, you see this variable, just going to copy that and replace the txt with the cbo, and here as well, right here too, there. But right here, the object that we have in here is a text box, so we need to delete that and change that to combo box. There we go. There, there's a combo box in place. Now this combo box will actually wipe out everything on every single combo box I have on the system, so we need another way around that as well. So let's run it first. Okay, whatever I enter in here, that will be cleared. Let's say we have these in here as well, and every single data, and these are supposed to be my default value. Okay, these are just the default value. So if I click on reset here, there, I've now lost every single default value that I have in here as well, and here I should enter a default value in there. Now to take care of that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to double click on reset and come back in here, clear every single combo box. At the same time, I would like you to enter some value in there. Let me show you one thing here. You see this very frame here, this is frame number 3. Inside frame number 3 I have frame 5, so I need to address frame 3.5, and this one is going to be frame 6. I also need to address that. So back in here, I'm now going to say multipage 1 dot frame 3 point frame 5 point that, and that will take care of my very first frame. On that very frame 5, I have, let's see what value I have, no in there, and the next one is 0. So double click on that, and I'll just change the data in here to no. Change every single data to no, and the other one that is 6, change every single data in there. Let's change that to 0 there, and this one is frame 6. That should take care of that. Now if I run it, apart from 1 and 2, these two, if I run it now, let's say I enter whatever I want in here now, and whatever value in here, click on reset, there, default back to 0 and no. And this one, the default value, I want it in there, and I also want the default value in here. And these 3 here, those are labels that need to be cleared, so I'm going to take care of them separately. Now let's go back in here. So you guys I believe you can see how it's put together. So let's come back down here. First of all, I need to know the details that I have in here. Let's go back in here. Okay, select a course, and the name of this is CBO course. Right, now let's go back into the code, and right here let's paste that in here, dot text equals select a course there. So that should take care of that. And the next one, that is CBO gender dot text, that will be equals, let's just say make a selection. There we go, and that's take care of that too. Now let's take care of our labels. LBL total score dot text, no, that should be dot caption equals clear. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other two. The other one is LBL ranking, paste, and finally LBL date there, and that take care of every single object that need to be reset on that system. There we go. Have a good look at it, guys. There we go. That is easy for me to take care of. Now let's come in here. You see this gender, I'm going to change the value in there. Let's come in here. Where is it? Text, I think. Yeah, just enter that into it. Yeah, that takes care of that. Now the other thing is I'm going to enter some values in here. So let's do that using form load. But one thing first, let's run it. Let's come in here, click and run. So if I change whatever value I have in here to female and select, it will officially default back to the new value. So let's say computing here and click on reset. There we go. Look at that. That takes care of that. Good. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to be able to add, let's say, months here and years in here, and just populate all of this. Let me exit out. First of all, I'm going to declare some variables. Let's double click on the form load and right up there, yeah, let's say option explicit, and I'm going to declare the following variables. The date as date. That's my very first variable. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to know more about how I develop the date time picker, there's a tutorial online, and I'm going to add the tutorial to the link of the tutorial to the description area of this particular video tutorial that I'm working on right now. Okay, so the next one is the year. Then I'm going to also declare this month, that is this month, and that's going to be as date as well. Now let's declare something to do with boolean. Let's say create cal, which stands for create calendar. So that's going to be true or false. And finally, I'm going to create one integer variable. This integer variable, I will use that to generate the date, the month, and the year. There. Alright, that is that done. But there's one problem. Once I generate the month and the year, what will happen is anytime I click on reset, I will end up deleting this. So we're gonna find another way to take care of this. But first of all, let's double click on the form, and here I'm gonna do one thing. Let's go for form initialize. So come right here and change the event to form initialize. Right. Okay, with the form initialize, the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to say application dot enable, so that will become false. Okay, dot enable event, that will become false. So that is it right there. There. Now that is taken care of, then the variable date, the date that I declare up there, I'm going to say equals date. This very variable there, this one, we will say is equals the date. Bring it right down and change this to date. Then for this month, that will be, let's say, equals, let's get it formatted. And what are we formatting? We actually formatting this, the date here, and we want to format it to months. There. We also need the year. The year, that will be equals, let's get it formatted as well to the year. I'm going to grab all of these and then just paste it right here, and we just format it as year. Okay, now that is done, now we're going to use a for loop. But first of all, let's grab the name of this combo box there. Okay, that is the combo box. I just call it CB underscore month, and this one is CB underscore year. Okay, so let's go back in here. Now let's use a for loop. For I was declared up there equals 1 to 12. There. Now CB underscore month dot, I want you to add as follows, and whatever you add in, get it formatted first. Then let's say date series. Yep. And it's going to be year, date. Then we also need a month. and that is going to be date. There, let's say plus I comma 0 comma, let's go for the months now. There, and close that. Alright, and let's just get it nested. So I'm going to there. So if I run this now, what will happen is we should be able to generate the month inside that particular combo box. So let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. See that? So, and this is the current month. Okay, in here there's nothing yet, so let's take care of the years. So I'm going to exit out. Let's go to form initialize again. Right inside form initialize, what we want to do now is I'm going to say the month itself dots, that will be dots list index. So let's grab this. Dot list index, and that is equals format date comma and month. Then I want you to subtract this format of date from the month. There we go. Now let's use a for loop here. For I again equals minus 20 to 50. Now let's say if I equals 1, then CB underscore year dot add item. The item that is added, we want that formatted as well. So let's just say format this item, the date, get it formatted, comma, we also want to format the year. There. Okay, now that that is taken care of, maybe we should move this down so that you guys will understand it properly. Now that that is taken care of, so what we want to do is, let's say else, oh, we need to close that. So let's say else CB year, we need you to add as follows. And we need to get it formatted again. Grab all of these and paste it here. Now in this case, that is going to be format date add. Let's add date add. That will be here, that's correct. Then here we now want to minus I minus 1 there. Then date, the date. To understand this, I have a tutorial on YouTube for you guys. Okay, and here we just need to get it nested. Okay, so let's correct this. That should be an open bracket there. Now let's get it nested. next. Okay, and that is all there is to it. So for us to be able to run it, I just want you guys to see how the code is going to look like. So now it has to continue. Okay, now the next thing is I might as well, so it continues, so that's going to be else. Let's bring that there and just get rid of this, and that is the year. Then I'm going to kind of like just bring that down so that you guys can see the codes. So if I run it now, what's going to happen is that should generate the years for me. So let's see what's going to happen. Oh, it's not showing yet. It does generate years. Okay, years are generated, but let's look at this. If I click on reset here, that's going to get rid of everything that I've been working on there. So I need to find a way to make sure the date and the month and the year stays put. So okay, now let's come back in here first and take care of that. So right underneath here, I'm going to do one thing. Let's say CB underscore year dot list index. I'm going to say that is equals 21. So that should be able to give us year 2021 there. Look at it, done. Alright, so that is taken care of, but there's another problem which I showed you guys earlier. If I click on this, that goes off. So let's take care of that before we can continue. I'm going to come down here, double click on reset, and up here I'm going to declare two more variables. Let's just say dim y comma and m. No, let's say m and y. M comma y as string. Okay, m comma y as string. M is going to be m equals, let's say cb underscore empty, the month dot text. That's good. The next one, y, which would stand for year, that would be cb underscore year dot text. There we go. So whatever value we have in there officially stored inside m. That's the m is for the month, and this one is for the year, stored inside y. So knowing fully well that this we clears it, once it's cleared, then these two guys will replace the value that we have in there. So let's copy that. Just gonna bring it right down here, paste, and right here I'm gonna say this equals m, and y, this one equals y. That takes care of the error. Once I click on my reset, there we go, there. So that should take care of the error. So once I run it now and click on reset, there we go, still there. Look at that. Okay, still there. So that takes care of that. That's fine. All right, now that we've written out the lines of code that generate the months and the years, we now need a function. Okay, now that very function is kind of like long, so I do have my YouTube tutorial there for you guys to have a look at. So I'm just going to speed that up. And right here, guys, these are the lines of code for the function that I will use to create the calendar. Okay, so let's come down a little bit so that you guys can see it there. Now what we want to do is we now need to call this very function inside the form initialize. Okay, this is the function. Have a good look at it. Like I said, there's a tutorial on YouTube for that. Okay, bring it down, and here inside the form initialize, the first thing I want to do is I'm now going to say, if you guys can still recall, one of the variables declared up there called creates calendar. Okay, that is a boolean, so that's going to now be true. Let's say equals true. There. Now the next thing is I'm now going to call this very function add calendar. Let's call that very function. There. Okay. Now in that case, application.enable event, that will become true. So I'm going to grab that as well. Come down here and just paste that in there. That becomes true. There we go. And that's all there is to it. So, but I also need to, there we go, that is it. I will also need to add one single line of code to every single button here. But before then, we need to be able to populate this and this. Now, let's do that inside form initialize. Double click on that. And right inside form initialize again. So have a good look at these lines of code. For now, the calendar is finished. So right underneath here, I'm going to say home student we have as follows, yes or no. Agreed, I've already entered a default value for them, for the home student. So if you want to see the default value, so let's come in here. There, okay, you can see all of them have their own default value. So let's double click on form initialize. Now right here I'm going to say CBO home student dot, I want you to add as follows, add item, and the item is going to be no. There. We also need to add yes. There we go. And that is for yes. There. Okay, we also need to repeat exactly the same thing for the other combo box, and this time around that is the overseas student. So I might as well just copy and paste that. That is going to now change to overseas, and here as well. There. We also have accommodation. Let's see, accommodation, we also have yes or no. Yeah, I guess that is correct. So that is for accommodation now. Then I have exchange student. That is called exchange, CBO exchange. There we go. And finally we have scholarship. So come down here, paste that, and scholarship. Right. There, that takes care of the very first one. Now the next one is going to be for the gender. So the gender will be CBO gender. Let's say dot add. No, first of all, the text on it, the text is officially there. No, okay, let's just say dot add. Okay, and we just add in male or female. Right there. And we also need one for female. male and female, I mean, there. Okay, let's add one for the text. This is going to be a text equals make a selection. There we go. That is that done. We also then need CBO course dot text that is equals as follows. Select a course. There. Now we need to add the following. Right underneath here, that's going to be dot add item, and the first item that I'm adding is going to be, I'm going to add this, add that, get rid of this. No, this should be add item. Right, now let's add the others. Okay, what else do we have? We have so I'm going to change this one to BSC serious games. Now that's the first course. The next one is going to be as a BSc Computer Science. Then let's say BA Animation. And we have a couple more, so I'm just going to copy this and kind of like speed that up, paste that in there. Okay, that is it, all done for those combo box, but still have some more. Let's run it first and see. Run, and there we go. If we drop this down there, so we can select whatever we want. We have yes or no there. Okay, look at this. We want this one to generate some numbers, maybe 1 to 12. No, I don't think anyone would spend 12 years in university though. So let's use a for loop to take care of this. So I need the names of all of these though. Let's see what is their name. That is BA, BSc, MA, MSc. Okay, let's go into form initialize. We can use a for loop. I'm going to grab this, or we can even put it right in here, though it might become confusing. But so if we come in here and say BA, that's, I think it's C, I think, let's go back in there again. Let's see. Yeah, that is it. CBO. Grab that. Double click on that and write in here CBO dot add. And what are we adding? We're adding I to it. There. And that should generate 1 to 12. So if I run it now, drop this there, that generates 1 to 12 instead of writing the for loop. So I'm just using one single for loop to take care of everything. So this is BSc and so on. Alright, so let's repeat the same thing for the others. Double click on this, and in here grab this. There are 5 of those, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is PhD. This is MSc. This is BSc, and no, MA, and here we have BSc. There we go. That should take care of all of that. So here we just generate 1 to 12, that's all, for each of those combo box. So check this out, and this, and so on. So that is fine. It's more or less like a shortcut. Okay, so that's good. Now let's take care of this, then we can then finish up with this here. Now let's come right down here, right in here. So we need the following. Each of those combo box, they all have their own various names. So let's see, the very first one here is known as CBO subject 1. So grab that, double click on that. So inside form initialize, back in form initialize again, come right down here, paste CBO dot add item, and the item we add in this time around, let's just call that data science. There we go. That's the very first one. And the second one, the second subject that will go in there, let's assume is event driven. You can have more than one, or more than, I'm just going to make it to event driven program. You can add more than 2. So that's for the very first one. So the second one, and so on. So let's copy paste, drop it down, close that. So this one is going to be 2 and 2 here, so 3 and 3. And this, it will change the name and the subjects to object oriented programming, or just okay, that's fine. Now the next one, maybe let's just put spreadsheet there. Oh, spreadsheet. Okay, so now this should be 3. The next one here is going to be system analysis. And information technology. Let's just say information tech. There. And let's just speed up the rest. We have 8 of those to do, so I'm going to copy all of these and just speed it up. There, let's speed it up. Okay guys, all done. There. So if I run it now, this is what we get. That is good. That is very good. Alright, so that's fine. We're heading somewhere. So all we then need to do is, if I select this, I like this to populate all here, and here I should be able to enter numbers, and if I enter more than 100, I expect the system to query that. Okay, let's complete work on the form initialize. So double click on that. Now right underneath here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my multi-page one dot the value equals 0. So the very first page will always be the one that we open up once the system opens up. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is LST student, that is the list box that I have in there, dot column count, no, let's say column header. I want the heading to show equals true. There we go. And in total, my column, I think I have about 40, so I'm going to say LST column count equals 40 dot count equals 40. You can always change that if that's wrong. Now, where are we going to get all of this information from? I'm going to say dot row source equals, that will be from the sheet number 1. Let's say $, from letter A, $, take it from 2 equals $, now, and that will be up to AN. So that should be AN really. So let's look at the workbook itself. Right, AN. So I'm going to change that now. So let's say $, AN, $, up to row 65,356, and that's all there is to that. So if I run it now, all of these that you guys are looking at here should be on the heading of my student list box. So let's run it and see this very list box here. Okay, I had to add a list. I added the list box to the second to my second tab. So let's run it to see what I'm talking about. There, that's the list box. There we go. That is the headings. Okay, you see that, guys? So let's do one thing. It seems to be too small. Let's come in here and just increase the font size a little bit so that you can see it. I'm going to make it about 12 there. Now if I run it, because I have the form load to always make tab 0 the default, and this is what's going to happen. Look at that, change straight here, and that is it. Okay, that is fine. Okay, what I want to try and achieve now is when I click on this combo box and select any of these codes, I would like the system to actually populate all of these text box telling us what's going on each of the course or each of the courses. And I would also like to be able to enter some value in there and click on my result to calculate that, and then populate everything right in here. Okay, let's do that. So let's come in here and take care of that for now. Exit out, yes, and let's double click on this, on the select course. There, I'm going to start by using an if statement. If CBO course dot text, if that is equals, let's say BSc serious games, you have to make sure the spelling, everything is right the way it is. Okay, if that is that, then txt course code dot text, that will be equals, let's say BSc GS, let's say 354. Okay, that's fine. Now the next one is the faculty dot text, that is equals, let's say school School of Computing. Oh, School of Computer Science. Okay then. There we go. Now let's have a look at the Dean of Faculty. Dot text, and we just make up a name in there. Let's say it's Professor Folake Tomilola There we go. Now let's have a go at the program manager or program leader. No, program leader. Dot text equals, let's say Dr. Peter Stone. Right. Now we also have, let's say, course tutor. Dot text, and that will be Dr. Rose Royce. There we go. Now the building, txt building dot text, that is equals, I'm going to call it Kelly's house. Yep, there, Kelly's house, in honor of one of my schools. Okay, let's try this out, and we just select the serious games alone. Now, no, we need to end the if. Let's see, was the if ended? No, it wasn't. End if, right. Well, maybe I should just get this indented. Just select it all on tab. It's indented now. Okay, now let's run that. Select the serious game. Boom. You see that, guys? So that's what I want. So I'm just gonna copy it and repeat exactly the same thing for the others. So copy, and we then use else if. Let's say else if is computer science. Grab all of these, BSc computer science, and we change that around as well. Then the course code will be changed. Let's say this one will become C, and 1. So I'm going to speed that up. Okay, I guess you guys see that. So if I run it now, and if it's computer science, there we go. Then we need to change the names we have on it. So let's change 1 or 2 names in there. Back in here. Now the very first name I'd like to change, let's say this is Professor Tony Montana, and let's call this Alan, Dr. Alan Brahim. And here we have Paul Parker there. Paul Parker. Okay, then let's assume the house is Bishop's house. Bishop's house. That's my old house. There. In St. Malachis. So run that. Okay, serious games, change to that. Okay, so I'm going to speed that up now, guys. So just copy and paste, then change it around. Copy paste. Let's change that. Right, so I'm finished with that. So have a good look at the lines of code for that very combo box. Once you write one, you can always copy and paste the rest, just change it around. So have a good look at it. That is for, let's take it from the top again, serious game, computer science, then we have animation there, business information system, computing, computer games, and finally we have computer animation there. So that is that. So let's run it and you see how that works. Computer animation, computing, and so on. So that is fine. That's working well. Now the next thing we want to do is with now, you see these buttons. When I click on any of these buttons, I will actually like it to display the dates right in here. Okay, now let's stop that. So to achieve that, all we need to do is, let's select this very first one. I'm going to double click on that. So I'm going to say LBL date dot caption equals D1 dot, there we go, control tip text. Okay, so if I run it now and click on this, that should display the date. Look at that. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for this next one. Okay, all you just need to say is control tip text. Now double click on the next one here. It's exactly the same lines of code. Just copy, paste that in there, and just change the D1 to D2. There we go. That's it. Now if you want, you can always select the next one here, and that's meant to be D3 and so on. So let's go back, double click on D3 and just paste that, change that to D3, control tip. Okay, go to the next one, that's D4, paste, change this to D4 there. So let's run it and you guys see how that works. Then I can then speed up the rest. D1, D2, 3, 4. See that? It's showing the control tip. Alright, so I'm going to just speed that up, and there we go, guys. That is it, taken care of for every single button on the calendar. Okay, that is, take it from D1, D2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, it's exactly the same lines of code. All we're just doing is changing the object details. There, that's up to 11, 12, up to 17, and take it from there, 23, 25, up to 29, then up to 34, 40, and there, that is it, up to 42 in total. Okay, save that. So let's run it and you guys see what I'm talking about. So whatever you selected here automatically appears here. Okay, so that is taken care of, and that's fine. So I'll reset that. Alright, we now want to take care of this very one. So whatever subject selected here, enter the grades in there. We should be able to click on these, and that should also display the total, the ranking, and the date. So only if we want to change it shall we click on this. That's the only time we can click on this if we want to change the date. Now let's go back to the result. Double click on result. Okay, right inside the result, first of all, I'm going to declare the following variable. I'm going to call that no, let's make that an array. This array is going to take in 9 value, comma, and we also have, that's unit 9 total. Then we also have unit total. Unit total is just a variable as integer there. So I'm going to start by saying if txt model1 dot text, if that is equals nothing, then we want txt model1 dot, oh no, I said or txt model1 dot text. So if it is less than, no, greater than 100, okay, then in that case I would like it to default txt model1 to 0. Okay, we can just copy this and paste that right here and enter 0 in there. Okay, so that's fine. That's for the very first one. The second one, we have 8 of those in total, so I'll just copy and paste. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now change this to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here as well. Now this 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. That should be 3, 2, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. So that is taken care of. Okay, else if none of those happen, then the next thing is we say unit array 0. Oh, let's change that. There's been an error there. Come back in here. My unit array 0, that will be equals txt, let's grab it, txt1 here, there. Let's say it's an integer. Let's enter int in here. There we go. And we'll repeat the same thing for the others. So grab this, right. In total we have 8, so there. So just change the value here around, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so I've now assigned every single component to the declared array. Now we're going to add everything up here. I'm going to grab this, come right down here, and that is going to store the whole value. So the first one is going to be this one. grab this, paste that in here, plus the next one, plus the next one, and the next one, and so on. In total we have 8. So I'm going to grab this, enter a plus sign here, paste, close that off, and just change this one to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. All of that is taken care of. We now need to add the total straight into LBL total. LBL total score dot text equals, no, not text align, no, dot caption equals that, and that is meant to be okay. Done. Let's try that out before I use some if statement to check one or two things. Okay, this shouldn't be allowed, but for now, okay, that should default back. Let's see. Alright, there we go. That changed to 0, so that's fine, and the rest is added up. That's very good. Okay, exit out, and let's double click on the result. Okay, now underneath here I'm going to use an if statement to check the total score in here. Let's come down here. Let's say if unit total is less than and equals to 700. In that case, LBL ranking or rank here, ranking dot caption, that will be equals first class. There we go. Else if, let's grab this and use else if. Yeah, grab everything. Else if it's 600, then this will be second class upper, second dot I upper. That is how second class is written. Okay, now let's go for the next one. The next one is if is 500, and that will become second class lower. Okay, second class lower. No, I don't want it. Right. And if it's 400, then this one will become third class. Okay. Now that's third class. So let's check these other ones. And if it's less than 400, let's enter 300 there. 300. In that case, that will become certificate of higher education. And if it's less than 300, let's say less than 300, there we go. This one is greater than and equals to 300. If this one will be if it's less than and equals to, if it's less, let's say if it's less than 300, okay, then that becomes a fail. Now let's end that, and if. There we go. Guess you guys see that that is my result. Let's take care of the following condition: if it's empty or if it's greater than 100. Do this. Okay, apart from that, add up everything straight into the array, assign everything into the array, then here add up the array and the total score, enter that in here, then use this instruction here to check who is first class, second class, and so on. And underneath here, let's enter the date, lbl date dot caption, and that will be equals, let's say, format date there. So that will actually display the day the qualification was issued. So let's run it and see. Save it first, run. Okay, enter whatever in there. Alright, decision time. There we go, third class. Okay, that's fine. So that's working fine, and this all we then need to do is to make sure the subject are selected. Of course, you should select the subject before entering the grades. Alright, that is that done. Okay, supposing the end user end up entering something like character like this, what should we do? Okay, that will give an error, as you can see. So let's end that. So in that case, what we will do is let's prevent this from accepting whatever character. So I'm going to double click on that, and in here let's use, I'm going to change that to on key press. Okay, we can use on key press or on exit. So on key press, so let's say on key press, if not is number numeric, actually txt model dot value, that should be one dot value, then txt model the text equals clear. Dot text, we'll have to clear that. Then we can also display a message box. Message box, you don't have to, but you can do that if you want. Only numbers are allowed. Alright, only numbers are allowed. And let's get it to set focus here. txt model 1 dot set focus, and end if. Okay, let's try this out. That's for the very first text box there. And I'm going to come in here now, enter whatever in there. Nope, it's not allowing any character there. Aha, that shouldn't happen. Alright, let's use exits. That is on key press. I'm going to grab this, copy everything in there, and let's cut it off. And now I'm going to change the event to exit there on exits instead of key press. Key press till enter the last value. So on exit, so let's run that on exit and enter whatever in there on exit, and I click here. No, that is good, so nothing is left in there. Okay, that is fine. So I'm going to copy that and use that for the next text box as well. So come back in here, double click on number 2, paste and change the text content to 2. That's 2 here and 2 here as well. There. The next one is going to be number 3. Okay, number 3. Oh, it has to be on exit. I think number 2 is wrong as well. We have to change that to exit. The event should be exit. So do this. Now let's see number 2. Okay, I'm right. That's wrong. Cut that off. That the event should be an exit. There. Now number 4. On exit. Paste. Change this to 4. 4 and 4 here. 4 here as well. 5. Change first. Paste. And this become 5. 5 and 5. 6. Change the event. Paste. Change this to 6. 6 and the last one as well. Now number 7. There, paste, and all 7 here. And finally, text box number 8. Change the event as well. Paste, and this becomes 8. And 8 here. 8. There, that is it, all done. Now run. Nope, that's not allowed. Nope, that's not allowed. So that's good. So let's enter numbers now. Careful, numbers, numbers. And numbers here. There. Certificate of Higher Education. Okay, so that is it, all taken care of. Now what we then need to do is I want to be able to click on this and add everything right in here. Okay guys, let's exit out and start work with the add new data. So I'm going to scroll right down here, double click on this add new button, and right in here the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the following variable. I'm going to call it WKS, which stands for workbook. That is going to be declared as workbook, no, worksheet. Let's get that right, as worksheet. There we go. There. And the next one I'm going to just say dim add new as range. Good. Now let's set this workbook equals sheet, and sheet that the worksheet I'm referring to is going to be my sheet number 1. There we go. Alright, that's taken care of. Then the next one is I'm going to set the add new, that will be equals work wks worksheet dot range, and it's going to range from A up to 65,356. Close that dot to the end, and we're going to also have to offset that. So let's say x up dot offset, okay, by 1. There, that is taken care of. Now the next thing I want to do is, you see every single component here, I'm now going to add them straight onto the system. I'll first of all start with the student ID, which is txt. So let's exit out and go back in there. So let's grab the name of this one. I'm going to just grab student ID. Now double click on the add new button, and right underneath here I'm going to now say, see the add new dot offset. I want you to offset whatever value we have inside this one. So the very first one is going to be inside column 0, row 0, dot value, no, that should be value, not validation, dot value, that would be equals txt dot text. So that's my very first one. So the next one is going to be surname, no, first name, surname, and so on. So copy, paste, paste, paste. So this one offset it by 1 to the next one, 2, 3, and here this is going to be first name followed by surname, and followed by address. There we go. And the next one, let's add some more. I have 40 in total, so this one is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 4, that will be CBO gender. Nice. Then it's going to be followed by mobile, yeah. Then I have an email, there. Then after the email I'm going to go for, let's go for CBO course, okay, and so on. I have 40 of those in total, so I'm going to speed that up and get back to you guys. And right there, guys, those are the lines of code that we add every single data, whatever data you enter, straight onto the component, straight onto the worksheet itself. At 0 to 21, let's take it from 21 now to 39, so in total that is 40. All right, that is it, done. Right, and right underneath here add as follows. Okay, so that is fine. So the next thing now that I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here. First of all, let's change 1 or 2 things here before I test this out. I'm going to select this very Yep, select that frame and maybe this other one as well. Select both. No, just this one first. And I'm going to change the back color. Let's change that to dark green. And this other frame in there, I'm using that as just like a divider between the text box, between the buttons, and repeat the same thing. There we go. Okay, so let's run it now. Decision time. Alright, I'm going to enter some data in here. There, and the name again, I'm going to stick to Tony Allen and enter surname there, and address alias number 13 God's. It's a God's Town, and it's mail. Go by number. Okay, and email will be tony@gmail.com. Alright, so let's grab this for his guidance details. Address, let's make this up, and it's going to be Peter Allen right here. There, and here is mobile. Let's just grab something here to speed up the whole process. Paste, and work number there. Okay, surname, that will be Allen. First name Peter, and who is he? Is the father. There we go. And what course is he taking? Okay, animation. He's an overseas student. He's in accommodation. Is he on scholarship? Yes. And that would be BA. Let's say final year, and let's select the units. Do that again. Select that, and so on, guys. There, and grades. There we go. There, all we then need to do is click on the result. That's the result, looking good. Now let's check this out. Click on add new. There we go. And let's look at our list box there. That is it. That is the list box. That's the details of Tony Allen, straight on the list box. Now exit out. Yeah. Oh, let me show you guys the worksheet right here. And on the worksheet, look at that. That's the details of Tony Allen as well. Okay guys, so with that, I'm going to call it the end of this very beautiful tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it, and please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.